Welcome, 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 everyone. This is Tammy Lee with the Emerald Compass and the Emerald Compass Sacred Sisterhood, coming live right here in our Ignite Your Joyful Heart Facebook group with the Makeshift Happen weekly spiritual variety show. And what a great topic to discuss today. Welcome. Just invite all of you to come in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I find it really interesting. Yeah, I got a little something going on with my throat. I find it really interesting how whatever I'm going to end up sharing, almost every time something happens to where I get the lesson too. I get the so because today we're talking about sacred self-love and how that accelerates healing. And if you can hear me, I got something going on. So welcome. Go ahead and type your name in the text chat and let me know who's all here. Got my hot tea with me. Let's just take a deep breath. Take that breath into your heart space and allow all things from today. Allow all things that no longer, that are not supporting you right now in this moment. Let them drop away. Just let them drop away while you're right here with me. And I need to remember this too. Go ahead and mute or turn off your phone so even your messages don't interrupt you as we go in, as we start off. You can even put it on airplane mode. Thank you for that. As it's like, Tammy, you can put it on airplane mode. So how are you all doing? How are you, ladies? Like, really, how are you doing? You know, there's a lot of shifting going on. For those of you that are new to me, I am a highly intuitive, multidimensional facilitator of healing and transformation work. And that's one of the reasons I started this group many, many years ago. And to help to accelerate the remembrance of who you are, to accelerate the unearthing of your sacred gems that are within you. And there are times when sacred self-healing requires to happen. Sacred self-love that accelerates that healing, real healing. Because we can go about our days and we can go and do some healing and facilitate different things. Yet there are also times in life that things in life can surprise us. And then we forget about ourselves. We get into this busyness. Even the best of us, ladies, even the best of us, even those of us that practice different things every day. Have you ever, let me see, hey, some hands here. Have you ever, I know I can't see you, but have you ever like thought you were on your path, and then something in life veered you over here and you forgot about this path because you haven't felt well, or something in the family's happened, or there was a death, and we forget We forget about taking care of us. We forget about taking care of us. Does that happen to you? Let me know in the text chat if that happens to you. Oh, beautiful, Jan. Let me just check in with the text chat. So, hi, Jan. Thanks for joining. So, last night, Jan had a crazy evening last night. So, she took the higher road. I would say that's pretty much, she listened to her intuition, that essence of who she is. Yummy. And she went and sat by the lake, and she sat in her power. Whew. And how did that facilitate any change, if it did, Jan? Just curious. Because see, when we take care of ourselves, when we find these sacred things that we can do for ourselves, and I know Jan, and that water, that lake, that is like a safe haven for her. So right there, she says it changed everything. Because when we don't take care of ourselves, we can go into this spinning that takes us down. How many of you have done that? And we're all capable of it. So this is not about a beat yourself up or feeling guilty. It's like, no, we look at where we've been, we look at where we're at, and we just start to reassess. 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 Take a deep breath on that. Just take a deep breath with me. Reassess. So I invite you to reassess at where you're at right now. Have you allowed different things to keep you from the continuation of cultivating sacred self-love? I certainly fall into that. I certainly fall into that. And as I continue to cultivate the life that I desire to live, it's high frequency, and cultivate how I want to, help other women. These are different points of recollection, of reassessment, as I've already said, of seeing our own beauty and seeing how we can facilitate even greater cultivation of those sacred self-love pieces, parts, actions that accelerate our inner healing. And remember this, that there's layers. Like when we first start on this path of real healing, of inner healing, of reconnection to our sacred gems. See, I believe, ladies, that each one of you have a sacred gem, more than one within you. But there's hidden so deep inside that sometimes they're hard to find. Or they could look like maybe a rock, but you turn it over and it's like, wow, It's a gym. Because you are that sacred. You are that special. You are. I believe that. I believe that with everything I have. So just close your eyes for a moment with me. Now, if you're driving, don't do this. Just take that breath and just let it fill up your heart. I want you to breathe in that light, breathe in that knowledge of how incredibly special, how incredibly knowing that you have these different sacred gems within you. So, what are some of the different things that we can do to cultivate sacred self-love? How can you be soft and gentle with yourself? How can you be soft and gentle with yourself? Can you just allow yourself to be in silence? To just, even if it's going in the bathroom for a few minutes, if that's where I used to go in my early days of raising 5 children. I didn't even know. Ooh, there's somebody that needs permission. I didn't even know that it was okay to take care of myself. That's not the mentality, or that was here, or it wasn't even what I was shown by other women around me. It was always do, 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 do until you fall into bed exhausted and then get up early. And we're here to change that. We're here to change that. So our residence of who we are, that sacred, 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 sacred fruit, that sacred part of us that wants to be alive with us, that wants to be a part of us, can fully embody us, wants to walk with us. That's our essence. That is our sacred essence. But without this, without cultivating sacred self-care, it can start to slip away. And we want it to be as strong and as powerful within us, with us. Like we can feel walking hand in hand with it. So let's go ahead and start naming some different things and put them in the text chat. Of the different things that we can do to cultivate sacred self-love, that we can do these simple things. Let's start with simplicity every day. For me, one of the things is I go out and water my flowers. If you don't have flowers, can you go buy yourself some? Can you go buy yourself a plant that you can take indoors? I know some of you have really small apartments. What do you have that's beauty around you? When I used to be a life coach in the local what would I call it? It's more than a spa. But we'll just say spa for now. When I was there and I was the life coach on site, I had a lady come in and painted flowers on my wall. Oh, I love being there. That's the biggest thing I missed when I moved home. I love being in that room. Is having the energy in that room still exists to this day when I go there and I see it. So what kind of picture, or can you have somebody come and paint something that would actually help to create this cultivation within you, around you, that will help support you? Even in those times when you may forget. Even in those times where, like, but it helps to bring you back. Helps you to start cultivating again. Again, ladies, it's not about guilt. It's not about making yourself wrong. And if you need permission, hear this, women. Hear this. I give you permission to take care of you and to start cultivating your sacred self-love. I want you, this is the one thing that I want you to start doing, is I want you to write down a list. And thank you, Jan, for posting in here. She says she listens to music at the 528 hertz. Simply make her bed. People don't get it. How making a bed can just make you feel so good. When you walk into your room, you can have clothes all scattered around, but if your bed's made, there's just something about it, right? She also puts a pitcher of water on the cabinet, and she just sends it love. So every time she drinks it, she's drinking love. It's one of the reasons I chose this mug. Let's see if I chose this mug because it says love grows here. So I am consuming the love that's growing, that's continuing to be in here. That's my intention. That's my intention. Love grows here. Love grows here. With every sip, love is growing. So what other things? What about have you danced lately? Even just by swaying your hips. Do you know that body movement helps to cultivate a love within? Like that movement is with your it makes your body feel like you're paying attention to it. Just I tell my granddaughter, she's like, Grandma, I want to listen to music. I want to dance. I'm like, you don't need to listen to music to dance. Just allow your body to start moving and allow it to show you where it wants to go with you. How many of you can try that? Will you try that? I'd love to hear the different things that happen as you allow that movement to start to work with you, to start to cultivate. Yeah, can you already feel that? To start to cultivate a loving of self, Uh-huh. Yummy, right? We all need healing. We all need healing on different levels. No matter what. I was told years ago that even the ascended masters are still working on themselves wherever they're at in their ascended life. Like it never ends, whether we're on this earth plane, on Mama Earth, or when we pass into a different dimension, when we pass over. Yes. Can you just start to feel, all of those of you that can feel energy, can you start to feel the rising of an energy right now? A rising of energy, a rising of frequency. Thank you for that. A rising of frequency happening right now as we're sharing these different things. As we're sharing these different things. Yes. Cultivating sacred self-love accelerates real healing because it helps us to quit looking out there. It helps us to start going in here. Helps us to start going in here. So it tells our soul, it tells our spirit, it tells our essence, I love you. I appreciate you. When we start to cultivate these different things, when we start to cultivate and create, if you can pick one thing you do every day, start with one thing. That's really simple. And just start to cultivate that into your life on a daily basis. And then you will see. You will be able to grow upon that. And upon that. And upon that. Yes. So what keeps us so blocked from doing these things? My sinuses are draining now. What keeps us blocked from doing this? When does that stop sign come up? Sometimes it's when we have exhausted ourselves. And we just can't think. I read a quote from Albert Einstein that said, exhaustion is our worst enemy. For the last 2 days, I've been sleeping 12 hours. Like, I don't set my alarm. And I'm kind of shocked. But for some reason, my body really needs that. It's been going through a lot of emotional awareness, emotional healing. Upgrade. Thank you for that. Healing that emotional body. Working with that emotional body. So other things that can keep you from taking care of cultivating this sacred self-love. Attaching a story. Getting all wound up in a story. Can you see? Oh, that's how it creates this tight webbing? Like this. And to unwind all of that, can take time, or Jan, that's right, Jan, working with me, bam, 30 minutes, we can have something unwound really quick, maybe even less than 30 minutes. But that's why we need each other, ladies. That's why even healers need healers. That is why, because we can help each other. And that's also why I created the Emerald Compass Sacred Sisterhood. Because that is what I intend, that sisterhood, that sacredness of sisterhood, to join together, that we're cultivating a new reality within that group. We're cultivating a new reality, a new way of living, anew, as we step into this new energy of what's here, to help us to say, hey, Tammy, are you taking care of yourself? I hear your voice is a little scratchy. Are you drinking your tea? Like just drinking tea every day? Do you have a special tea? Is there a special tea that will help you, that helps to facilitate a health benefit? I just realized that. Boom. That's one of my sacred self-love things that I cultivate, is drinking hot tea every day. Because it's warm. It just feels like a big hug. A hug inside of that warmth. It's you loving you, darlings. It's you loving on you. It's you loving on you. That's why we cultivate the sacred self-love. Because as we love on us, we start to become sovereign. And when we do that, which accelerates real healing inside, and we're not dependent on outside sources. Yes, I still reach out. Yes, we still have a sisterhood. But it's not like you have to, if something comes up, there's times when you're going to be able to handle it on your own. And there's other times when your sisterhood, when your sacred sisterhood is going to say, how can I help you? Let me walk beside you. You need rest? Let me hold you. Yes. And as we cultivate that sacred self-love, we feel that within us. It's us holding ourselves. It's us holding ourselves. So I know a lot of you will watch the replay on this, and I would love to hear what else you can add to these lists. Let's go over them again. What list can you start to write down of cultivating sacred self-love to accelerate the healing within you? Work with your flowers, work with your garden. If you don't have one, can you buy a plant? Can you go buy some cut flowers? Can you go buy something that you can put inside your house that you can say hello to every morning? Drink a cup of hot tea or lemon water or whatever that is for you. Just simple things. Start with simple things. Make your bed. What else did you say? Doing hip movement. Doing like turning on some music at the 528. What did she say? 528 megahertz? I've heard of this before. I think it's, Jan, correct me if that is a higher frequency and it helps to raise us up to a higher frequency when we listen to that music. Oh, that's a good one. Pet your fur baby if you have one. Yes. Not only is that helping you to cultivate sacred self-love, it's helping them to know because they're there. They want to help you heal. They do. One of the things I started also was being on my chi machine every day. To start to cultivate that, a daily cultivation. Start to cultivate being on my chi machine. The chi machine, you can look it up, but it helps to bring more oxygen. It moves you like a fish. Helps to bring more oxygen into your bloodstream, into your body, helping you to support yourself on another level. Wow. Really don't want to start dripping on you. Laughing every day. Laughing every day. Did you know that even when you don't feel like laughing, if you just do ha, 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 that your brain, it already starts to create different frequencies within your brain? A higher frequency just by saying ha, 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 H-A, H-A, H-A. You can hear that, huh, Carol? Oh. So, hi, Alicia. Hi, Carol. So glad you joined us. Color. That's a good one. We have a very special sister in this group, Jancy Pettit. She has this high frequency coloring book. Yes, I agree, Jancy. Get her coloring book and color. Today we're talking about cultivating sacred self-love and what that takes, what the little things that we can do to cultivate that, which accelerates real healing within us. And sometimes it's calling on a friend that says, hey girl, let me take care of you. Because that's big, ladies. That's big. When we allow our other sisters, I'm not talking blood, I'm talking in general, even like I have adult daughters. I can say, hey, I need your help. Or hey, can you just take care of me for a day? Or a friend. We have those sacred sisters. And we can say, hey, can I just come and be? You do your thing, but can I just come and be? Just being. Allowing them to rise up into their, into their purity of their essence, because they will shine, they will shine, they will shine as they comfort you, as they take care of you. When you allow them to rise up, when we ask them, our other sacred sisters, have you cultivated, there we go, have you cultivated that kind of sisterhood around you, physically around where you live, that you can call on them and they will come? That you will call on them and they will invite you there. That's another way of cultivating sacred self-love that accelerates real healing. Will you get out of the way and call upon your human sisters that can be there in physical form to just be present with you, for you to be present with them? Oh, this is cool. Okay, so let's check in on the text chat. So glad you could join us, Alicia, Carol. Jen is saying she had an awesome experience last night when she called God by the Aramaic name Allah. I don't know how to pronounce that. And it dawned on her, because we were just talking about laughing and the ha 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 sound. It dawned on her. It was ha. Made me smile when I got to the ha, and it created joy within her. So she had an experience last night that she decided to choose a higher road, went to her spot by the lake, and sat there in her presence. So instead of calling on a sister to be with them, she called upon, like she heard the calling within her. How many of you feel this calling of to go someplace that it's kind of like you feel this gentle nudge, or you feel a pull, like something's pulling you to come be with me, come be with me. And it could be the lake. You have a creek. Sometimes I have felt that call to go by the creek. Oh, that is beautiful, Alicia. One of her sisters just stopped by to walk her garden with her. I feel so blessed to be a sister and to have sisters. Whew, 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 whew. That's beautiful. Carol says her flower gardens call to her. Come be with me. That's how I'm taking that. Carol, come be with me. Yeah, I can feel that. I can even feel them reaching out, hugging you. Wow. So when we allow that, when we allow that to take place, when we allow ourselves to stop the busyness, sometimes we have to do that. in order to go be, in order to cultivate that sacred self-love. Can you feel? So ladies, can you feel how when you do these different things, can you feel the healing or the rising of frequency within you or around you? Can you feel that? Can you sense that? Those of you that are really good at feeling energy. Oh, good question. Has anyone seen fairies in your gardens? Jan is asking. For some reason, this is intriguing me. I haven't seen fairies. Well, okay, I take that back. Ooh, okay. I just heard them say, "What do you mean?" When I was in Canada, I didn't know I was going to tell this story. How cool. When I was in Canada about 2 years ago during a workshop with a group of women, because I've always believed, I've always believed, um, I've always believed that fairies existed ever since I was a little girl, but never had anybody talk about that. You know, and it all started with watching Walt Disney, you know, how Tinkerbell would come. And so Alicia says, so I take it, Alicia, you've had the Sasquatch appear in your garden with you? Is that what you're saying? Um, but when I was in Canada a couple years ago, I was introduced to a fairy garden in the woods. And even though other women could see it and they were all just giddy like little kids, I was guided because I there's another way that I connected to them through another type of energy versus sight. I wanted to see them. Oh, golly gee, I did. But they told me to go behind the group and sit in a certain place. I could feel that. Like they were guiding me to sit. And as soon as the group left, I sat there. I sat there in the energy of the fairies. And I could hear them speaking to me and telling me that they do live here on our farm. And they were staying under a tree. I'm like, oh, that tree? Like I literally did this. Oh, that tree by the house? Because that's how I always thought they were there. And they said, it's like they took my hand and they like, no, that tree. And I know what tree they were talking about. One down by driveway. I'm like, oh no, I think it's that tree. And I just like I could feel this force and going, that tree right there. And I'm like, okay. I can feel them like, would you listen to me, girl? And that year I had a little bitty thing. That year when Christmas came, I have little bitty things that I'm like, what am I ever going to do with these little bitty Christmas ornaments? And like a setting, like a table setting and a tree, and like it would be for a dollhouse or something. I was going to give it to one of my granddaughters, but it's like ceramic. And I'm like, no, I'm supposed to keep that for some reason. Well, I set it out. Part of the decorations and said, welcome. You're welcome to and I could feel that energy. There I was welcoming them to celebrate the holidays with us. So yeah, and every day I'll look at that tree almost every morning and um, just be present with it. I don't always say hello, but just be present with it. And I trust that one day when it's right time for me, they'll appear. So yeah, it's been really exciting to have some of these things, but I really truly believe thanks, Jan, that the more, because this is what I learned when I started working with Sasquatch, the more we heal inside, the more that all that stuff sloughs away. And I'm just thinking now with the fairies that maybe when you're in your childlike essence, because that's how this group of women are. I've never thought about that before right now. Thanks, Jan. That they were in their childlike essence. They were giddy. They were like little girls. Ooh, the fairies! Ooh, the fairies! And because some of them could literally see them. And somebody even had some kind of a powder and placed a powder on the ground as a, I think as a sacred, what do we call that? I was thinking momentum, but that's not the right word. As a hello? I don't know. And I don't know what that powder was either. No, you're not crazy, girl. You're not crazy at all, Jan. I have actually had Sasquatch. We have another business in Oklahoma, and when I come home from there, I've literally had 2 Sasquatch ride home with me. And they were giddy, man. They were so fun. I'm like, well, welcome, guys. And it was like I could see them out of the peripheral vision of my eyes. One in the front, right when I passed a certain spot. They just jumped in for the ride. And I just was laughing with them. But see, all these different entities or these different, what would we call them? What we call these different beings. Thank you. Better word. Thank you for that. Thank you. Like they're here with us right now. Like just having this conversation. Like I can feel the fairies. I can see them in my mind's eye, like fluttering around here saying, yay, you're talking about us. Like, yay, you're talking about us. This shoop, 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 shoop. And see how when we cultivate sacred self-love, not only does it accelerate real healing within us, but it opens us up to having communication to other beings. To other beings. To other beings that are here to be with us, to help us heal, to show us I thought I was going to sneeze. To show us new ways. Yeah. Can you feel that? Yeah, that just feels yummy. So Carol says, so Jan says, oh, so I'm not crazy. No, you're not crazy. And Carol says she doesn't know she has fairies around, but butterflies are all around. I am sure they are, though. She's sure that the fairies are there. I would like to see them. Sasquatch have been with me. Ooh, wow. That just like, oh, that was a solid, like, boom. You could just feel that. Because they're here right now with us. As we, ooh. They're saying thank you, thank you, thank you. So the fair, like, so the Sasquatches are like, thank you, thank you, thank you, with a smile. And the fairies are like, zoo, zoo, zoo. Like, that's their thank you for just talking about us. I'm so glad I shared that story, Jan. I kind of forgot about that. But that is really what helped me to open me up even more. So see, when we're with other sisters, other people that are doing acceleration work or doing are in the healing realm or are open, that's a better way of saying it, that are open to other ways of other who are open to other beings, who are open, that don't have this box around their thinking. That's why healing the mental body is also very vital, along with the emotional body. Like when you have no box and you allow these new things to come through and show you. It does. It does. It makes life a lot more magical. It makes life a lot more magical. Like I can feel a Sasquatch right here on my left side. I see him in my mind's eye just sitting there like this, looking at the computer like, that's interesting. Who's Tammy talking to? I've seen Sasquatch, even a little one, in my house before. Not too long ago. Yeah. What a great conversation, ladies. What a great, great, great conversation. So Jan, okay, let's go back to the text chat. And Jan is sharing, my past life regression therapist said she had one person remembering she was a fairy. When she looked at her feet, she said she had had on Barbie shoes. So childlike would be appropriate. That's what I'm really thinking. Last year it was really, 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 really wet here. And we had so many, gosh, what are they? Not fireflies. They were, what are they called? They have big wings and they were flying all around in front of our house. Dragonflies. Thank you. Dragonflies. And I really felt like the fairies were dancing with the dragonflies. And I would go sit out there and be with them as everything was dancing. Be with them as everything was dancing. So again, before we close for today, and thank you so much, ladies. I'm like, thank you for sharing. Because did you see how this conversation just went into different areas? I can't do this without you. I can't do this without you. So next week, Wednesday, when we come back here again for Make Shift Happen, and can you feel how we made shift happen? Like how many of you have shifted into a different energy just being here? Just knowing that, oh yeah, life can be more magical. I didn't have on my agenda or on my list that I was going to talk about fairies and Sasquatch. And now they're here with us. That's just so beautiful. They're helping us to cultivate that sacred self-love that accelerates that inner healing, the real healing. And so this just goes to show you that when we share our stories, when we share these great stories, it can actually help to facilitate a rise in the frequency where we're at. And we're going to do more of that, especially over in the Emerald Compass Sacred Sisterhood. There's still time. If you want to sign up, there's still time to invite a friend. There's still time. Because the process is always going. The cultivation is always continuing. Yes. Yes. Let me know what else you want to hear about. Let me know what you want me to start bringing forth on the Make Shift Happen spiritual variety show, which is here every Wednesday at noon. Even when I might be stuffed up. One of the things we're not supposed to do when we're on camera is blow our nose, touch our face, and howdy doody. That all went out the window today. And that's okay. I'd rather be here with you. My own frequency. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My own frequency has risen. Being here with you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So do one thing. Do one thing to start cultivating sacred self-love. And allow, see, I had no idea emotion was going to come. And allow that emotion to come forth. Yes, thank you so much for joining today. I love the different ways we go and the different ways we move. This is such a blessing for me and for so many others. Thank you for taking part in this. Thank you. I'll see you next week for sure. Hopefully before then. Cheers, everyone.